Today's class will include some opening of the front body, some strengthening of the back side of us, and really great for posture awareness and strengthening those muscles required to hold our shoulders back and keep us in alignment throughout our day. In terms of props, you may find blocks to be useful as we move towards camel pose, Ustrasana, and as a support during Setubandha Sarvangasana bridge pose towards the end of class. This class will be not very long class, 30 to 40 minutes, and let's get started. We'll stay right here in a seated position. And as you settle through your sit bones and find some length through your torso, you can start to draw those shoulders down and back without squeezing the shoulder blades. And as you find that space between your ears and shoulders, check that your chin is parallel to the earth. You can soften your eyes or even close them. You start to feel the crown of your head reaching for the sky and your sit bones grounding firmly into your mat. Bring your awareness to that heart space and cultivate the spirit of joy. Always great to begin any session, any day with a higher frequency vibration such as joy or love, compassion. And from that place, start to feel your breath as it moves up and down. Inhalations and exhalations becoming smoother and deeper. Incorporating that Ujjayi breathing technique, that victorious breath, if you'd like. And now, with this increased sense of quiet, you can set an intention for your practice. Heart opening poses are what we're about today, so it could be simply something like you started with: joy, love, openness. And to feel the intention that you've set, you can bring palms together at heart center. And as you firmly press through the palms, you can bring your chin towards your chest. And then gently lift the head and softly open your eyes as you stay right here, taking an inhale. And as you exhale, interlace the fingers and press the palms out in front of you, rounding the back. Next breath in, reach up towards the sky, drawing the pinkies towards the wall or space behind you. And as you exhale, interlace the fingers behind your back. And then straighten the elbows. If you can, lift the pinkies toward the sky. Maybe lift your heart center as well. And then exhale, releasing the hands all the way around back to heart center. We'll do that once more, inhaling right where you are. As you exhale, interlace the fingers the other way and press the palms out, round the upper back, maybe even drop your head forward. Inhale, reaching the biceps up by your ears. And exhale, hands behind your back, again, interlacing kind of the uncommon way that you do it. Lifting heart center. And then exhale, hands back in to the heart. We're going to make our way onto our stomach, kind of warm up the upper back, the lower back, preparing us for those heart opening poses. So once you have the length of the mat completely under you, reach the toes back, bring the outer ankles up, and feel strong through your body. Engage the legs. Feel the crown of your head reaching forward. And then you can fold the forearms under your forehead as a little rest. And begin by lifting the left leg up a bit, straight knee down, right leg up. Just kind of go back and forth, not super fast. Just waking up those muscles of the glutes. You may feel it a little bit in your low back. Great. And now we're going to move more to the upper back. So you can take your arms straight out from your shoulders like a letter T. And on your inhale, lift the chest, lift the backs of your hands to the sky, lift your head. But your gaze should be towards the floor, just a little bit in front of your mat. And then exhale, release to the mat. You can touch your forehead down if you'd like, palms down for a moment. And then inhale, lifting up again. Feel those muscles squeeze and lift. And exhale, gently release. Again, inhale, lift. And exhale, down. One more time, inhale and lift. And if you'd like to, you can take the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, and see if the arms can help you lift a little bit higher. And as you exhale, bring the forearms to the mat with the elbows underneath the shoulders. You're in a Sphinx pose position. And with your palms pressing into the mat or the floor in front of you, think about trying to drag the floor towards you. So firm pressure through the palms, through the forearms. And as you do that, think about bringing your heart center up and forward. This helps encourage the upper back to engage and open up that front body and the upper chest a bit. Holding that there as you breathe, noticing the muscles that are waking up. Great. You can release that pull a bit and then just look over each shoulder. Come back to center. Again, press through hands and forearms. And this time as you inhale, see if you can lift the elbows, the back of your forearms up just a little bit, keeping the elbows in line with each other and back down. So forearms, upper arms stay parallel to each other as you just lift up and down a couple of times. This is a nice strengthening exercise for your triceps, but also reminds you about how important those hands are in a lot of the poses that we do. Do one more time. Great. Now you can walk the hands in a little bit more. And you're going to let the hands help you, but careful not to strain or push too high. Draw the shoulders back first, and then start using the hands and your back muscles to lift you up maybe a little bit higher than you were before. Gaze a little higher than it was before, but legs are still engaged. And then exhale down. Slide the hands that are under your shoulders, and we're going to just press all the way up into hands and knees position. And then tuck the toes under and come into a full plank if that works for you, adjusting hands if needed, or modified plank if that's better. I'll demonstrate with modified plank first. It's kind of like a wave sensation that we're going into a modified upward facing dog and a modified downward dog or puppy dog. So from your plank, then I think about rolling, rounding, as you wave yourself, including the neck, to go back towards almost the cross between a child's pose and a puppy dog. And then rolling back forward like your waves, making the back move slowly through its curve and move gradually towards a modified upward facing dog into back extension. You can do this with the knees up as well. So either way that works for you, if you're up on your toes, it's going to look more like a modified downward dog. Heels high, knees bent, and wave yourself forward until you move into a modified upward dog, toes tucked under. So either one you're in. One more time, each direction. Just feeling the movement of the spine, the muscles that help get you there. And then let's all make our way into your expression of a downward facing dog. So if you're on your knees, go ahead and bring them up. It can certainly be modified. Remember, we always want to think about the spine alignment first. Take another breath right where you are. Exhale it out. And then begin looking towards your hand and bring your feet forward. Releasing into a soft forward fold for a moment, letting that blood get into your brain and your eyes. Wiggling the toes, maybe circling out the wrists. And then drop the hips a bit, open the arms, and use that powerful core you've been waking up to come all the way up to standing and bring hands to heart center. Let's move through a modified Surya Namaskar A to continue waking up the front body. So inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, safely fold forward. Full forward fold, head heavy. Inhale to your halfway lift. You could slide those fingertips up your shins. Exhale, hands meet the mat. Step one foot, then the other back. You can lower the knees and release all the way down to the mat. As you untuck the toes, use the back muscles primarily as you come up into Cobra pose. Bhujangasana, and then exhale, tuck the toes under and move into puppy dog or downward facing dog. Stay here for one more full round of breath. Exhale all of that air out. And as you inhale, look where you're going and bring the feet forward to your halfway lift. Exhale, folding towards your legs, chin towards the shins. And then inhale, safely come all the way to standing. Exhaling, hands to heart center. So if you did last week's class, you know how to modify. I'm going to move through full variation. Inhale, up, arms up. Exhale, fold it forward, but modify as needed. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, step both feet back and lower into your Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, tops of the feet, press firmly into the mat as you lift your heart in up dog. And engage those lower core muscles to help lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Stay here for one more breath. Exhale all of that air out. And as you inhale, look between the hands and bring your feet forward to your halfway lift. Exhaling, full forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, come safely all the way up. Palms can meet. Exhale, hands to heart center. So we're going to hold off on another round of Surya Namaskar A for a moment, warming up the back with a little standing back bend. So inhale, bring the arms up. And then exhale, you can take the fists to your low back. Draw the elbows back as well, and lengthen the tailbone toward the floor. Next breath in, think mostly about lifting the heart center and the gaze up, keeping the hips forward. Lengthen the low back. And breathe. Your shoulders open, your heart open. And you can use your fist to help you come back up to a neutral position and release the arms down. We'll do it again. And instead of the fist, you could follow me, which is a little more strength required. So do what's best for you. Biceps stay by the ears. All the fingers are interlaced except your index fingers. And as they powerfully reach up, draw the shoulders back down, lengthen the tailbone toward the floor, engage the legs. One more inhale right here. And as you exhale, think about lifting your heart center up just like you did before and moving gently and safely, slowly into a standing back bend. Only as far as you feel safe, supporting your head with your arms and breathing. As you inhale, use those core muscles in the front body to lift yourself back to neutral. And as you exhale, take the hands around behind your body. Interlace the fingers there, lift them away from you. You can soften the knees. We're going to fold forward. So we're going to start moving through Surya Namaskar A, just starting a little differently. Stay here for another breath, opening up those shoulders. Next inhale, let's come into a halfway lift. So release the fingers to the floor or shins. And then exhale, stepping the feet back. Mindfully through Chaturanga, shoulders no lower than elbows. Inhale, powerful opening of the heart. And exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Right here for one more full round of breath. Exhale everything out. As you inhale, look where you're going. Bring both feet forward to your halfway lift. Exhale into your full forward fold. Inhale safely, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. I'm going to just move through 1 or 2 rounds of Surya Namaskar B now, because those are also great for opening the front body as well as stretching the back body, which we will need for our Ustrasana camel pose. Inhale into Utkatasana. If you did yesterday's class that I uploaded and recorded, and you are filling your legs today, exhale, full forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, take the feet back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, glide safely into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Make sure those heels are hidden by your toes. Let's first time do a lunge. Inhale, lift the right leg up. And as you exhale, step that foot all the way forward between the hands. You certainly can lower that back knee, and if it's not lower, then knee is straight, pressing back through the heel. And when you feel steady through both feet, you can come up into your lunge. Stay there for an extra breath this time, just feeling that nice stretch through that left hip flexor. And exhale, bring the hands back to the mat. Step it back. You can certainly just go to downward dog, otherwise we'll move the full expression here in up dog and down dog. For the other side, inhale, left leg high. Exhale, bring that foot all the way forward. And keep thinking about all your alignment things we've been talking about all semester with your alignment of that knee over ankle. Coming into your expression of a lunge when you're ready. Stay in there, an extra breath. Exhale, moving directly to downward dog or traditionally through the Chaturanga, Ardha Mukha Svanasana, and Adho Mukha Svanasana. Relax your head here. Relax your shoulders for one more full round of breath. Exhale everything out. Inhale, look between the hands, bring both feet forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, chin towards the shins. For Utkatasana chair, bend into the knees and hips. Reach up with your arms. And exhale all the way up to standing position, hands at heart center. One time, full expression. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take both feet back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, smoothly and upward facing dog. Feel that curve of your spine. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pressing through all fingertips. For Virabhadrasana A, lift the right leg high and then bring the foot forward. Bend that back heel in and down to line up those heels. And as you press firmly into that back foot, you'll bring the arms up into Warrior A, checking that your back knee is straight. Crease at the right hip, pulling back a bit. As you exhale, bring the hands back down and lower into Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Virabhadrasana A, left side. Left foot reaches. Core brings that foot forward. Back heel spins in and down. Make sure that back foot is active as you come up into the expression. Bring biceps by the ears. And exhale all the way back through, meeting in downward facing dog. Enjoy your downward facing dog. For a few breaths here, relaxing the shoulders, mindfully pulling up the intention that you set for today's class. And then as you exhale, we're just going to lower the knees. Keep the toes tucked under and walk the hands back to sit on your heels for a moment. If that's too much, you can take your blocks and place them beside your hips to add a little support there. You may, if you have blocks, want to place them there now. Anyway, we're going to make our way through variations of Ustrasana camel pose until some of us may go through the full expression, but absolutely not necessary. You'll still get the benefits of the pose, heart opening, postural strengthening. Couple more breaths right here. And then we'll lift up off our seat. And again, my toes are tucked under, and I'm going to leave them that way to begin with. We'll do about 3 rounds of Ustrasana, each time giving you an option to take it a little deeper, maybe even do 4. But to begin with, you want to make sure your knees are underneath your hips. I'm a singular today. Tailbone is lengthening just like we did when we were doing some standing back bend, and shoulders stacked over the hips. So feel the steadiness and sturdiness of that. If you need extra padding under the knees, you could grab a blanket. And then just bring hands at heart center for a moment. For our first variation of Ustrasana, camel pose, we're going to do just what we did in standing. You're going to take the fists to the low back, kind of right at your sacrum. And then as you bring the elbows towards one another, that will help to open the heart center further, but make sure you didn't relax too far forward. You got to engage those lower abs, help to lengthen the tailbone down. And as you inhale, initiating the movement with the upper back and the neck, because the low back tends to just take all of it otherwise. As you move into that back bend, only as far as you want to go. Check your thighs, though. You want to imagine that they're pressing into a wall in front of you, not leaning back. So they're perpendicular to your mat. Keep lifting through the heart, breathing. To come out of it, as we did in standing, those lower abs and fists can help press you back up to neutral and release the hands down. So if you have blocks, that can be your next variation. Don't worry if you don't, I'm gonna take it from blocks to another option. You'll want them kind of fairly close to your ankles. Maybe start with the tall side up if you're new to the pose. But fists can come back to begin. Initiate the pose just as we did before. And as you start to move into that back bend, you could reach back for your blocks instead. That's going to open the arms a bit more and the shoulders. Another option, if you don't have blocks, you can go a little further, is since the toes are tucked under, the heels are not too far away, you could reach for them. But again, press those thighs forward and don't just drop the head back. Keep some energy so the curve of your back is smooth all the way through the neck. To come out of it, you could even reach up like someone's helping you up, but without twisting, come all the way back up to neutral and relax. We will do a counter pose with some child's pose shortly, but we're going to stay here for another round. This time, option of untucking the toes. Even if you're going to use the blocks, you can give the toes a little break here. And again, blocks, you can do just what you did in any of those variations. I'm going to keep them out of the way in case you feel good about moving into full expression. You can see me a little better. It's always safe to start as you did and let that be your initiation, or students that are comfortable with this pose may even start with hands at heart center. Keep the thighs forward as you move smoothly towards that back bend. And without twisting your torso, you can reach back for your blocks or your heels, which are going to be a little lower now. So you might lean back a bit to find them, fingers pointing towards the toes, but then shift your thighs forward again so that they're stacked over your knees. Breathe. That beautiful opening of the whole front body down through the hip flexors, through the shoulders, even the biceps, perhaps. Keep the tailbone reaching toward the ground so that you're not dumping all the energy into the low back and feeling any pinching. To come out of it, you could place a hand at the low back or reach up to the sky to come back to your neutral position. And this time, softly and gently set down onto your heels. You can move your blocks out of the way, but still reachable. As we move slowly into child's pose. So heels are apart, big toes touching. You can use your hands to help you first, if you'd like. I'm going to start allowing the back to move into flexion. It's been a lot of extensions to do this slowly. As you tuck your chin to let the crown of the head potentially rest on the floor, the arms can just relax by your legs with the palms to the sky. If that's too far, you can actually use your blocks here as well. And maybe even place your hands more in front. A little more comfortable position. If your head's higher, then arms back here may not feel great. I'll stay here for just a few breaths. So this is traditional balasana of child's pose. Utthita Balasana is with the knees wider and the arms extended out in front, which gets a little bit more into your hips. You may even want to take your fist and kind of pound the low back muscles, massaging away or pounding away any tightness. And we're going to gently roll up from that position, sitting on the heels, and just move the feet around the side and out in front. Scoot yourself forward. We're going to be coming down onto our back for Setu Bandha Sarvangasana bridge pose. And again, you may want blocks nearby. You're going to have the feet hip width apart, the knees hip width apart. And you can use your abs to get there or your arms for support as you slowly make your way down onto your back. Once there, you're going to walk the feet in pretty close to your glutes. And then lift up your upper back a little bit to get those shoulder blades close to each other. Turn the palms to the sky and press firmly through the length of your arms. Lengthen the back of the neck. And as you continue pressing into the back of the head, the feet, and the back of your arms, you're going to allow yourself to press the low back into the mat and then begin curling up one vertebrae at a time until your hips are high, the backs of your shoulders are still on the mat, head is still pressing into the mat. And you may even want to interlace the fingers underneath you, kind of lifting and rolling those upper arms under to get a little bit more height. But be sure to keep the chin away from the chest and the inner corners of your feet pressing so the knees don't just kind of flare out. Think about the inner thighs kind of spiraling towards the mat to help keep that pressure under the inner two corners of each foot. And stay here for one more inhale. And then you can kind of unroll the arms a bit and move them out of the way as you slowly release back down onto your mat. We'll do another round. Make sure you're not turning your head once you're in the pose, by the way. So if you need to see the pose, you can look first and then do it. So I'll show you this first before you do it. If you want to, this next round, you could use your block under the hips, either it's really under your sacrum, that triangular bone that's at the base of your spine. You can either use it this way, or you may have to go on tippy toes first, but sometimes this way, and this is going to feel a little bit more restorative. If you want more strengthening, you can do it the way we just did it. All right. So make sure the feet are in alignment. Knees and feet are hip width apart. Press into the arms, the head, and start to lift the hips, the low back, the mid back off the mat. Still like to bring those shoulder blades a little closer to each other. And then if you want to make it more of a restorative pose, you can take that block underneath your sacrum, but then ground back down through the feet. Chin stays away from the chest. And you might feel a little bit more of a stretching through those hip flexors. And close your eyes. Keep lengthening the tailbone towards the calf muscles. If you have that block there, you may need to lift up to your tippy toes to remove it, and then place the heels back down, and all of us are going to roll all the way back down onto the mat. Once there, and hug the knees into your chest. Keep the thighs glued together, hands on the knees, and straighten the elbows. And then you can kind of use the arms, bending the elbows, to make circles with the knees, drawing circles on the ceiling or on the sky, one way. And then the other, massaging any remaining tension out of the low back. Put the knees in once more, forehead to knees. Move the blocks out of the way as you open the arms. Exhaling knees to the left as you gaze to the right. Inhale, knees and head back to center. And then exhale, knees to the right as you gaze to the left. And then inhale, knees and head back to center. And bring the feet to the floor. If you have time for your Shavasana, you're in a perfect place to just move into your Shavasana from here, and you can mute me. Otherwise, you can roll over onto one side and slowly make your way up to a seated position. Take a moment there, finding that alignment again. Observing any changes in how you feel, both mind, body, your emotions. Hopefully you feel a little bit more open and receptive, heart-centered, as you move through the rest of your day with a lot of heart. And open your eyes. Thank you all so much for your time with me here today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.